Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopefully elect. It's the brother Isaiah you with the Pittsburgh GMS camp, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah HaKodash. Lord willing, it's edifying. Salaki, 1 second. I thought I could pause it. Oh, yeah. All right, Salaki. And just going with the spirit of what's been going on, these different false Christians, man, and their different lack of understanding in the scriptures. I just want to go into the Israelites that have been scattered, that have been considered Gentiles, and so on and so forth. But I'm just go with the spirit. I got a few precepts, and I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna get this first here. All right, Matthew 22:29 says, "And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of the Most High." Okay, and the thing is, you err, not knowing the scripture nor the power of the Most High. See, you people don't even understand how the Most High operates. All right, the Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ. They're not. They don't change. They don't change. They're the same. They're consistent. Malachi 3:6 says, "For I am Yahweh, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed." The reason that the sons of Jacob, of Israel, are not consumed is because he made a promise that he would save them. He made a promise to Abraham, and that on his seed, which it went through Isaac and then unto Jacob, okay, that they would inherit the land of Israel, right? They would be saved, and and so on and so forth. So this is why we're not consumed, all right? Now let's get another precept, all right? Let's see here. Let's get that, right? Boom, one. Let's get this. It's very simple. It's very simple to understand. And really, even after this, you could just kind of drop the mic. But, we're going to go into a few more scriptures, even for further edification. Hebrews 6:18. Hebrews 6, okay. And 17. Matter of fact, might be some more on this. I don't want to go too far. Hebrews 6 and, okay. 13. It says, "For when the Most High made promise to Abraham, because he could swear by no greater, he swore by himself." So the Most High made a promise, and he don't change. And so because he made this promise, and he put his own reputation at stake, this is why he hasn't destroyed fully the children of Israel. He said, what? Saying, "Surely blessing I will bless thee, and multiplying I will multiply thee." So after that, he had patiently endured, he obtained the promise, right? So he did multiply Abraham, but that wasn't the fullness of the promise. "For men verily swear by the greater, and an oath for confirmation is to them an end of all strife. Wherein the Most High, willing to more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, confirmed it by an oath, that by two immutable things, in which it was impossible for the Most High to lie, we might have a strong consolation, who have fled for refuge to lay hold upon the hope set before us." Okay, so there's a promise that's been made. Okay, there's that new covenant. Okay, that was made that all these Christians, these fake Christians talk about. The new covenant was made with the house of Israel, but they're biting, and they're scratching and kicking and clawing to try to be a part of it. Let's get this, and then let's go to that new covenant. Hebrews 13:8. I'm gonna just read it from here. It says Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, which verbatim it says JC. Okay, we know there were no J's, and his name is not this. These words are not Hebrew words. It's Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Okay, he is a Hebrew. All right, let's continue. "The same yesterday and today and forever." So if he's the same yesterday and today and forever, All right. And he is the word made flesh, right? Right. And you may feel like these are simple arguments, but people still try to go against this, and put forth something that's contrary to this, meaning that you're going to say that the scriptures contradict themselves by your own admission of bringing these other scriptures out that seem to contradict this. You're saying that the scriptures contradict, but we know they don't. John 1:14 says, "And the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth." You see, people can't even understand that he was created by the Most High. He was the first of all creation, the only thing that the Lord made, and through him everything else was made. But okay, that's another lesson for another day. All right. So now that we've established that the Most High doesn't change, now that we've established that Yahweh Shai doesn't change, that He's the same today, yesterday, and forever. Okay, so let's get this. All right, new covenant. Let's get the new covenant. Jeremiah 31. That's what I want. Let's get it. Jeremiah 31:31 says, "Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, the northern and southern kingdom, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers, in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, though I was an husband unto them, saith Yahweh." You see, so this is very specific. "But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith Yahweh, I will put my law in their inward parts." Not in, I ain't heard the Gentiles yet. I ain't heard none about no heathens. "And write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord. For they shall all know me, from the least unto them, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh, for I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more." But wait a minute. See, you Christians say that your neighbor is everybody that lives close to you. But wait a minute. Instead, we're not going to teach our neighbor. But why does it say, okay, Isaiah 2:3 says, "And many people shall go," and let's read the first read above that. Isaiah 2:1, the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. There go those two again, Judah and Jerusalem, northern and southern kingdom, the house of Israel. "And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains." The government of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to be above all the other governments, all the other kingdoms, "and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it." And what they going to say? "And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways." Well, wait a minute. If they flow there, don't they technically end up being neighbors? So why don't the neighbors have it written in the inward parts? Because your neighbor is your brother of your own nation. Okay? Thy neighbor, a Hebrew. Okay? Leviticus 19:18. Okay? Leviticus 19:18. Let's try to get it. All right, so the Bible's clear what it's talking about. So like, it's got to be up here. Leviticus 19:18 says, "Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yahweh." So it's telling you who your neighbor is. And there's another one that says, it literally says, a Hebrew man or woman. Okay, I just can't see it here. Okay, thy neighbor, a Hebrew man. It's a lot. doesn't say it here. Oh, it says that's because it says KJC. Let's see if I type that in. And if thy brother, okay, so that's what it is, brother. Deuteronomy 15 and 12, because it also mentioned the brothers, right? Deuteronomy 15 and 12. Let's go there. Deuteronomy 15. People saying, I'm your brother in Christ. Deuteronomy 15 and 12, it says, and if thy brother in Hebrew man or in Hebrew woman be sold unto thee and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. You see, the year of release. All right, there's a year of release where you release people from their debts. Okay, and that will be when you would release them from your servitude. You see, so just to establish that, man, before we even get into the scriptures of how Israel was scattered, because then when you now see, you have to get learned on the Old Testament before you go into the New Testament and start talking about what the Gentiles. So you have to have an understanding of who the Gentiles is. The Gentiles is the state that the Israel had become because they were scattered into the heathens and they became like unto the heathens, which put them in a Gentile state of being. Okay, the Most High was looking upon them as filthy and as strange and as Gentile-like. Okay, Deuteronomy 30 and 3 says that then Yahweh thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee. Salakia, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither Yahweh thy power have scattered thee. So we're going to be gathered from the nations where we were scattered. Psalms 44 and 11 says, thou hast given us like sheep appointed for the meat. Thou hast scattered us among the heathen. Thou sellest thy people for naught and dost not increase thy wealth by their price. Okay, who were sold to their enemies, man. So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Primarily the blacks is on record, but so-called blacks, but also Native Americans were sold, man, which encompasses those Latin tribes as well, because they were a lot of those Indians, those Aztecs and so on and so forth. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors and scorn, and a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. And that's how people look at so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans as something to shake your head at. Oh, let's get this. See, this is how the Most High looked at us, which is why we were called Gentiles. Psalm 60 and 1 says, read to the chief musician upon Shushan Shushan-Aduth, Miktam of David, to teach when he strove with Aram-Naharaim and with Aram-Zobah, when Joab returned and smote of Edom in the valley of Salt 12,000. O power, thou hast cast us off, thou hast scattered us, thou hast been displeased. O turn thyself to us again. You see, so he's asking the Lord to return unto them. But there was times where armies were scattered, whenever they went to battle. Okay, but we were scattered among the heathen. Let's read this. Jeremiah 3 and 12 says, go and proclaim these words toward the north and say, return, thou backsliding Israel, saith Yahweh, and I will not cause mine anger to fall upon you, for I am merciful, saith Yahweh, and I will not keep anger forever. Okay. This is in the Apocrypha, I believe. To them he granteth. I know it's in the Apocrypha, man. I'm just validating the Apocrypha. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Salakia. And comforted them. Yeah. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 17:24 says, but unto them that repent he granteth them return, and comforted those that fell in patience. Okay. So like I said there, return, and I will not cause my anger to fall upon you. I am merciful, and I will not keep anger forever. So I just want to read that. Verse 13, only acknowledge thine iniquity that thou hast transgressed against Yahweh thy power, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, saith Yahweh. Turn, O backsliding children, saith Yahweh, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. Okay? And I read it earlier about how he's married unto the children of Israel. Okay? All right. And I will give you pastures according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And it shall come to pass when ye be multiplied and increased in the land in those days, saith Yahweh, they shall say no more, the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, neither shall it come to mind, neither shall they remember it, neither shall they visit it, neither shall that be done any more. At that time they shall call Jerusalem the throne of the Most High, and all the nations shall be gathered unto it, to the name of the Most High, to Jerusalem. Neither shall they walk any more after the imagination of their evil heart. In those days the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land of the north to the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers. But I said, how shall I put thee among the children, and give thee a pleasant land, a goodly heritage of the host of nations? And I said, thou shalt call me my father, and thou shalt not turn away from me. Surely as a wife treacherously departed from her husband, Salah, so have ye dealt treacherously with me, O house of Israel, saith Yahweh. A voice was heard upon the high places, weeping and supplications of the children of Israel, for they have perverted their way, and they have forgotten Yahweh their power. Return, ye backsliding children, and I will heal your backslidings. Behold, we come unto thee, for thou art Yahweh our power. Let's read this, is what I wanted. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills, and from the multitude of mountains. Truly in Yahweh our power is the salvation of Israel. You see, this salvation is for Israel, man. It's for Israel only. You other nations is going to desire to get saved and all that other stuff in these other kingdoms, but only for the Israelites scattered among you will be saved. The rest of y'all is through. Okay. I'm gonna just get this. Jeremiah 30 and 11. For I am with thee, saith Yahweh, to save thee. Though I make a full end of all nations whither I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. So you other nations is through. All right, but Yahweh Shem Shah is going to save his people. So like my phone just keep on chiming, man. Like the elder apostle Bar say, my phone had to chime on that one. Jeremiah 31 and 10, hear the word of Yahweh, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattered Israel will gather him, and keep him as a shepherd doth his flock. It's all about the Most High's love for the children of Israel, okay? Like it says, I am married unto you, and he's going to protect them, the elect of them. And the rest of them will be straight in the kingdom after they, after they died through a painful death for rebelling and being against the Most High. Ezekiel 6 and 8 says, yet will I leave, let me see if it's any more. Yet will I leave a remnant, that ye may have some that shall escape the sword among the nations, when ye shall be scattered through the countries. And they that escape of you shall remember me among the nations, whither they shall be carried captives, who was carried into other nations as slaves. All right, we were. Because I am broken with their whorish heart. Played the harlot, because he loves us, but we keep on serving these other gods. So he's looking at us with disdain and looking at us filthy. To the Most High, we're like a woman that done, some dude done bust up in her raw and nut all in her, and you looking like, bitch. That's how we look to the Most High, man, which have departed from me, and with their eyes which go a whoring after their idols. They shall loathe themselves for the evils which they have committed and all their abominations. You see? And they shall know that I am Yahweh, and that I have not said in vain that I would do this evil unto them. Okay? So the Most High, he looked at us like filthy, man. So that's why we're looked at as Gentiles. And there's many more precepts on it, but I pretty much proved the point that the Most High has never changed, man. You people just keep on putting this wishy-washy spirit on the Most High, and it don't fit. According to the scriptures, the Most High is not going to change. You can't change him and say he's a new age and he's mine, he's a new God. No, man, it don't work like that. You know, Yahweh Shai Hamashiach the same today, yesterday, and forever, man. You know, and I'm Yahweh, I change not. It's plain. So, you know, I'm gonna just wrap it up here, man. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Okay, Lord, witnesses of edifying lessons. With that, I want to say Shalom, Shalom.